Hello, Rick. Sorry, bud, about the delay on getting this video done. Like I told you, I was gonna be making for you to show some things to you. I had some little bit of financial trouble the last couple of days. Came up a little short this month on some bills and stuff, which hadn't happened in a while actually. So I had to do about the only way I know how to come up with some money and find some little two pills and amps laying around that I've acquired lately and do a little this and that to get them ready to, for eBay so I can make the money, which looks like I'm almost there. So that's good. It's been a little stressing on me. I know I've been needing to get this done too as well. So I've been putting in all the hours I can lately. So anyway, man, like I said, I apologize. I know when on the phone when you asked about this amplifier, I had, was going by memory, and I just remember I had glanced in it once a few weeks prior. Just a quick glance, I didn't really get to look in there too well, and just from my memory, like it was, built pretty well, which, I mean, it's built well. That's not what I'm saying. It ain't built well. There's just a few things in here, and there's one pretty major thing that I would be scared to even put RF into the box. And that's what I'm going to show you first. The first indication that I saw was, this is your combiner, okay? This right here is combining all three two-pill sections, individual two-pill sections, okay? There's supposed to be three 100 ohm resistors that comes off each port that's tied together, okay? These resistors are what we call balancing resistors, and also it lets you know if there's a problem. If one of them blows, one of them gets real hot, it lets you know there's a section that's imbalanced, or there's a transistor blown, etc., etc. You don't have to have them on the input here, but we still put them on there a lot just for an extra safety. Not seeing them on here, but seeing where they were soldered, that was an indication that there's a possibility that the builder or whoever's worked on it before were not able to keep them on there from burning. So when people get a little fed up for not being able to keep them from burning from an imbalance in the box or something, they'll remove them so it's hidden. So they can get that little booger off their hands. So that was the first indication, okay? So I got to looking in here and noticed that this is an 8-pill board, okay? You see what I'm saying? You got the two transistors right here, okay? This not being used, 222. It's an 8 transistor board. It's a pre-cut board, kind of looks like a messenger board or something like that, okay? That he probably cut out of another amp, etc., etc. All right, when you're dealing with a amplifier like this, which is called a ported design, meaning it's three separate two-pill sections. Each two-pill sections have to be phased equally. What I mean by that is this. Okay. You see these wraps around these transformers right here? Okay. All right. Let me try to get in some light here. All right. You see how this wrap, the way the box is designed, it's kind of hard to get some light in here. All right, you see how this wrap right here is grounded to the board? Okay. All right, you see how this wrap right here is grounded to the board on the opposite side. You see that? Okay. And you see how the transistor on the left is grounded on the right side, okay? So this section and this section are the equal. They're both grounded on the right side. You see that? Right there, grounded on the right side. Grounded on the right side. You see that? This one in the middle is grounded on the left side. Big problem. That means that center section is going to be 180 degrees out of phase from the other two. And I see exactly why he done that, which was a common mistake from following the traces on the board, since this is an 8-pill board. Because if you were building an 8-pill, this is how you would do them. These two sections will be done just like you see, just like right here. And then these two sections will be the same way. But this ain't an 8-pill, this is a 6-pill. See, this is where your RF is fed to it. RF's fed to it. RF's fed to it where the blocks are. So he wired it up like that. The way it should be wired up is this right here should be grounded to the board, just like these two. And then this should be fed over to the RF. Same way on the back. Take a look at the back. See how this is grounded on the right? Okay? From our angle, this is grounded on the right, and this is grounded on the left. Both of these need to be reversed. That's why he can't keep no resistors on here. Okay. Next thing is, these are not major issues, but when you're talking about a good, strong built box, replacing these silver dip micas on the output transformers to metals are going to up your watts a little bit, and they're going to stay a little bit more stable. Now, it's good that he doubled up. That is good. Don't get me wrong. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing at all. But using metals is always the absolute best way. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right. Next issue, when you're talking about built strong as it can be built, there's 1-inch transformers in here. Okay. Which is pretty much the style that Texas Star uses. I like to use 1.5 inches, which is one more bead added to it, and there's room for that. He could have used 1.5 inches. You see the power wire right here is kind of stretched over to it. He could have easily used 1.5 inches. It came out to about right here. It could have been done easily. He could have lifted it up just a little bit. But, I'm not saying that's going to make more watts, really. I mean, a lot of people will argue that it will. It's just usually the bigger the transformer, the less it's going to get saturated as quick. Meaning, it's not going to get hot as quick. But the bigger the transformer, which we have found out, the harder the amplifier can handle a beating. Meaning it gives the transistors an environment to where they can be drove a little bit harder and volted a little bit harder as well. I got a phone call. 1 second. Let me press pause. I'll be right back. All right, I took care of that. All right, next thing I noticed with this box was that bolt is loose. Which ain't an issue or nothing. That's just something I noticed, which I'm gonna tighten up. Let's see here. Oh, next thing. This is why I was wondering. I could have swore that you said this was built for you. To me, it appears that there's been quite a few transistors blown in this amp, and I'll tell you why. Here's the lot numbers. 6E, 6F. That's the first section. Next section, 6K, 6K. Next section, 5G, 5B. If I took a wild guess, it would appear that maybe the middle section, which is the one that's actually out of phase, is the same lots, but the others are not. and have probably been popping pills in these sections, which took out all the original 6Ks, which, I mean, I can't be 100%. I mean, the box could have been built with used transistors. The box could have been built with different lot transistors. I don't know. I can't, I'm just having to guess at that point. But I can tell by the way they're soldered in there that they appear to be used when they were soldered in. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they all appear that way. And also, I'll show you something else I noticed. Where's my pick at? Some of the leads don't appear to be soldered good enough. See how I can get my lead up under there like that? That's kind of hard to see on camera, but it just isn't soldered well as it should be, honestly. This one isn't either. At first glance, they almost appear like you could just flip them up. And like this section over here to the left, their leads look pretty rough, man. See if I can't zoom in on that for you. See that? You can tell they were used when they were soldered in. You see what I'm saying? Or they were removed or put back. It's one of the two. That's what I'm saying right there. I mean, it looks like it could just be popped up if it wanted to. It needs to be soldered a little bit better. This one too. See? Alright. Next thing I noticed was these SO239s need to be grounded to the board majorly, especially on a painted box like this. This was not even soldered, Rick. Look at this. Look at this, bud. Look at that. See how I'm bending that up? That wasn't even soldered, Rick. And it's loose. You see how I was able to see that? That's not good, man. It's real vital that these are grounded because your coax comes in and it's going back out. If these aren't grounded properly, it's just like cutting the shield of your coax. You know what I mean? Just like literally cutting the shield and just letting, the shield there, or we're cutting it in half. And right here, there's not even a ground tab on this one to the board. So, I mean, there needs to be ground tabs there. I mean, this one right here needs to be tightened up and soldered. I believe that's about it that I wanted to point out. You got some good hefty caps on the input, which is overkill. You don't really even have to have that big of a cap, but that's good. That is overkill right there. And, I mean, it's a good design, Rick. I mean, this is the design that I use. This ported design. It's just, And if it was me, I probably would have used two medium-sized fans. Here's a hefty fan, and I'm sure it's very loud. Had to use two big sandbars there to kind of keep it safe from the unregulated supply. I would have probably went with two 92 millimeter fans at a decent speeds, but good enough to where I could use some voltage regulators. But as long as you don't mind the extra loudness, I mean, I hadn't hooked it up yet, but I could go ahead and guess that that fan is quite loud, because I know I got a couple of fans of this same model that are pretty decently loud, but I'm sure that thing's pushing some good air. All right, man. I believe that's it. Those are the things I wanted to give you. Like I said, if I had to just narrow everything down before I even felt safe putting watts in it, I have to wire this up correctly and get this in phase. And go ahead and put the balance and resistors on the input and the output. And see, that's always going to indicate and let you know if something's wrong, too. Everything else you're talking about sinking in some time, changing out the transformers and all that. if you get a chance, or if I can remember, I will send you a link to a few 6-pills that I've done last year. Just let you kind of compare the two. But yeah, I just want to show that to you. I mean, it's your choice what you want to do to it. If you want to, we can just get that right there and see what it does. Just let me know. And your 2-pill is pretty much done. I painting the connector for the back. There's your preamp. Putting this cap on there too. That's the last thing I have to solder in there, no counting your terminals on the back. But she's looking very beautiful, man. And also she's tuned in and she's working very well. Already got that soldered up for the Anderson. And also I had to order some Andersons to match it. They're actually going to be here tomorrow. I already had Andersons, don't get me wrong. I already had some, but I didn't have enough. Let's see here. I'll show you. I want everything to match, you know. Right here. See them white ones for 50 amps. I didn't have enough for all of the connectors I'm making, but they will be here today actually. So that's fine. And your 2290 box right there, all I gotta do is just put the new front on and the buttons. I've got the preamp in good. I got to run, man. I got to go get some breakfast, dude. Get my butt in the bed. I've been up all freaking night long. All right, brother, get back with me and let me know what you want to do about that 6-pill, man. And we'll get this stuff wrapped up quick as I can this week, man, so I can be done. I need the money too, brother. So I'm gonna try my hardest to see if I can't get done today, tomorrow at the latest. Because it looks like I've pretty much about gained all the money I need. I was really wanting to turn this right here. The 2-pill, the board's already built, as you can see. I just need to put it in, but the problem is the damn box is pink. My builder done that and supposed to be doing a magenta or a red. And this is one of the first boxes he painted, and it's just kind of been hanging around because I was like, I don't know who's going to freaking get that box. It's pink. But I got that pre-built Fat Boy board there, and I'm going to drop 2 HGs in it, or 2 used Toshibas or something, see if I can't unload it on eBay. But the problem is that takes time, and I really can't get on that. I've got people's amps I need to get done like yours. So, I mean, yeah, that might take me about 2 hours to wire up, but I think I'm going to be good with coming up with the money without having to go to the measures right there. Imagine if your amp needed this connector, big brother. All right, I'm gone, man. Bye-bye.